Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show. This is the place, South Florida's premier resource for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught, and what they're doing, hopefully, to catch it. We're also going to cover your future marine forecast, the moon phase, and your tide charts. Everything you need to know to keep you into the bite. Before we get into this, though, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, or just see some great, exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Saltwater Fishing family. Okay, folks, so in the news of the week is really going to be the weather, the wind, and I will explain that all when we get to our second half of the show, which covers the weather. The big news that we saw, I will share this right now, is there was plans. It's not really a fishing thing, but I want to share it with everyone because it had everyone up in arms, and I'll talk a little bit about it here. They plan to turn Jonathan Dickinson State Park into a huge, giant 1,000-acre golf course. Going to tear down the observation tower and everything. There was so much protesting over this that the group that had put the proposal out to take this project on, they nixed it. So, smart move by them, and good for everyone who said, hey, hell no, you're not going to do that. Why? We don't need a golf course and tourist dollars like that. All right. So let's move on with that. That had everyone up in arms. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about fishing, right? We've got these storms firing up, and here's what you might see when you are out there. Sometimes we're having lots of offshore storms. This photo was provided by Pedro. You're going to see water spouts, right? So, don't be a tornado chaser and go and get close. They can be dangerous. They're I don't want to say they're harmless. They're not the worst things in the world. Everybody gets close to them, but just be cautious out there, and know your boating level of experience and expertise when it comes to dealing with water spouts. Thanks, Pedro. We submitted a ton of stuff this week. So they're out there just like the fish. All right, so let's talk inshore, right? So we'll continue with more Pedro from Pedro Hernando. He posted a nice pompano right here. Look at this. They're around. So he says, it's a 3D photo. I can't really zoom in on it. So yeah, pompano, right? Inshore. Also up a little bit north of the Tri-County area. We got, there's whiting. There's also scattered Spanish mackerel, which Pedro had shown off last week. All right, so let's talk a little bit more inshore. I saw here's Pedro's catch, right? He says he had to cast out really far, lots of seaweed towards the coast, but if you got out 100 yards or so, you could get into the pompano. Nice catch right there. Great dinner. Pompano is one of the better eating jacks that there are. Great. Pedro's been lacing into the fish lately, sharing all of his catches, and he told me he's going to be traveling for work, so he's got to get in his fishing and get the salt in his blood. A little inshore nighttime snookers right there. Nice little line sider right there. This was submitted by Josh Taylor. Nice little fish, light tackle. Those things are always fun. So as you can see, we've got the shore fishing going on. Pompano, like I said, up north, whiting. The Spaniards are starting to show up here and there. Snook, they're feeding too. I'm sure you can get into the. Here's another one from Inshore. This is from Brandon. Nice big old fat Jack Cabell. I told him to throw that thing on the smoker. Hey Pedro, yes. Cheese It is on the show. He is here. He's right back here. Anyway, get discombobulated when I'm looking at the screen. Yes, so let's continue. Jacks, right? So jacks, snooks, the usual suspects. You're going to run into the silver kings, the tarpons. I've seen lots of, smaller tarpons being caught too. So that is that. Also, let's talk a little bit about the reef, right? This is from Angel. He sent in some nice mangrove snappers. Some mangrove snappers are on your shallower reefs, the 30-foot to 50-foot, and they can also be found in the grass flats and stuff. They're called mangrove snappers for a reason. Gray snappers, whatever you want to call them. Most people call them mangroves, mangoes, everything. So he got himself a nice little haul right here. Definitely good. And then, he also showed off that, he as in good faith, man, that's dinner right there. There he goes. So, nice filleting skills, not butchering them fish. Gonna have a great dinner. All right, more reef. I know we saw more from Pedro. Okay, last Thursday, out of Lake Worth, the muttons and the porgy, about $1.30 on frozen sardines with a 50-foot leader. Hey, from Phoenix, Arizona, Hawkeye. Tex 549, how you doing? Pedro, Lake Worth, muttons and porgy $1.30, frozen sardines 50-foot leader, little kingfish here on 100-gram SPJ jig. Perfect, nice muttons, man. Like I said, Pedro has been putting on a clinic when it comes to fishing, and he's getting a nice haul pretty much every time he heads out there. He did say, I'll get into it in a minute what else is going on. So that's a reef. Here we go. Another one. Joel Morris tried for the wahoo, didn't get it. Had no current, but ended up with a nice mutton. I mean, that's a hog too. So, and then he was chased in by the storms. No mutton, no wahoo. Landed a nice mutton, and then got chased in by the storms. So, like we said, we got the hey, Kelly Tribble from Georgia. How you doing? We got the mutton showing up, and getting them with no current is rough goings too. But good one on that, Joel. Let me see what else we got here. If there's anything on the actual page, that's Pedro. Not much. All right, so we'll go back, and so that's our reef. I didn't see many posts of yellowtail this week. Might have been a current thing going on, but we did have some going on with the mutton snapper. The mangroves are biting, and I can tell you, if you've got some current, the yellowtails are going to be fired up. All right, so let's talk about pelagics. Right, here we go. Jason Reese, Guggen Pro Offshore Angler. This was a afternoon trip, he said, right? I believe. He said rare for him to find kings and blackfin in the same water, but that's how it went down. Yesterday evening, $1.50 off BOCA. Got himself a nice kingfish and a couple of blackfins. Hey, perfect, man. Jason Reese. Check out his YouTube channel if you get a chance. It's got some exciting stuff on there, and I'm sure he'll make a video out of this right here. All right, let's see. Pedro today, he actually went out. He was talking yesterday. He wanted to head out and get a wahoo, and that is what he got. 250 feet out of Jupiter. He said he was trolling at 7 knots, and then as soon as he switched to 9 knots, that is when that bad boy hit. So he ended up with the Tiger. Nice. I mean, that's a good one too, Solid double digits, 20 plus. All right, nice. And like I said, Pedro has been killing it out there. The one thing he did mention is that it is a bit sporty, and if we, as you can see out here, like I said, we're going to get into the wind and what it's doing, and the period of the waves are starting to close in and make it, like Pedro said, sporty, so the sporty conditions. All right, so we got wahoo, we got kingfish, we got tuna over the deep reef. These pelagics are showing up. Here we go. We got Jeep Family for Life out of Miami. Monday, the 26th, on the surface, around 600 feet and 1,000, in between 600 and 1,000 feet, targeting mahi and tuna, and they caught this little weehoo. First ever wahoo. Hey, a wahoo is a wahoo. They eat just as good. So, hey, congrats on the, he said I pegged it 20 plus. All right, awesome. So wahoo or wahoo, the little guys make great sushi. I'm telling you, man, more so than those big giant monsters. The little ones, man, you cut that stuff up, get you some sriracha sauce, good to go. Here we go. Gary Friedman, king. Nice kingfish. Definitely always fun when you get the kings. That's a slot. That's a little bit of a smoker too. That's a big one. So, you know, definitely cut that bad boy up and put them on the grill. Lovely. So, okay. So talking deep reef trolling, we got the kings, the tunas, and the wahoo still showing up. The mahi, not so much this week. Didn't get any pictures of them. So, you know, out deep, of course, we've got rosies. They're around year round. If you are bombing out, go for rosies. 800 feet over the cobble, not over the mud. That's where you're going to find them. There's also vermilion snapper. I'm seeing them being caught. Of course, you know, they're off the structure in the sand. You've got to go and find them. Some people have spots where they can actually go, and they're fairly reliable for the vermilion snapper. Other than that, you know, the sword fishermen are always out there. The swords are around pretty much all the time. Some years other than sometimes during the year other than not. Hey, not a problem. Love being featured. Yes, and that's what we're here for. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about. So that's our fishing, right? The reef. We've got our snappers, big ones, little ones, yellow ones, red ones. Inshore, the Jack Crevalle, snook. The bait fish we're going to be running into our annual mullet run. Someone had actually said, hold on, I saw a post here where someone was very nice about it, and they said, if I can find it, of course I won't be able to. No, they said they saw mullet up north a little bit, and they were wondering if anyone had seen them down south. Not yet. I don't think they're there. It is. Hold on here. I'll bring it up. This person said they saw mullet up into Cuesta last week, which is the Jupiter area. How far have they reached? Let's see. Been in and out. They've been in and out of Boynton Inlet. Says Pedro. Saw them up on top last week. Okay, so yeah, so they're south, as far south as Boynton. Let's stick there, Boynton and Boca. So yeah, they're going to be around, and you know, as soon as the mullet run gets real thick, that's when you're going to want to go and do your shore fishing, or you know, your skinny water fishing for tarpon. And you know, you catch the mullet, you hook it through its lip, and you throw it out, and you know, just let it swim around. It's going to get demolished. All right, so that's our fishing, right, folks? You know, we're getting into late summer. It's going to be coming time to hit that reef hard. You know, the kingfish are going to become more easily available as the false albacore run kind of dies down. All right, so let's start talking about our weather. I'm going to pull up Windy, and I'm going to explain to you what is going on currently before we, get a little bit into it. So what we've got right now is winds. If you look outside, what we're going to have. So here's Windy, right? So let me zoom out. So up here, right? This is an area of high pressure. So as you can see, what high pressure does is it drives the winds and they swing down. So that's why we've got this strong east wind. That's pretty much going to happen for the remainder of the week. Now, this high pressure is actually going to move out here, and there's going to be what they call an upper level low, which is a disturbance in the upper atmosphere, which is going to possibly generate more thunderstorms along the coast as the week develops. Okay, just a little bit of a meteorology jargon for you to understand what is going on with why we're seeing this strong easterly wind right now. So let's talk about it, right? So right now, like you said, You saw Pedro, he said it was sporty, and it is. Right now, we're through the rest of the week, we're going to see, you know, these strong east winds, and your waves are going to be following them, and the period is going to be, you know, 4 or 5 seconds. So right now, we're in the double digits, right? West Coast, they're on the leeward side of Florida, so they'll be getting, you know, a little bit of protection because of all the slowing down of the wind from the land, and it's blowing offshore, which creates a swell, if not lays the sea down. All right. So Palm Beach County, Vero, all the way down to the lower Keys. You're in the double digits right now. Tomorrow morning, let's say, you know, as you can see. So if I'll show you something cool. So let's say if we're off BOCA, right? And I click on this spot, it'll tell me we're at 10 knots tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Here in Miami, we're at 13 knots east. So that's a little cool trick about windy. If you ever are looking for specifics, right? Down in the Keys, lower Keys, a little less, but still, it's blowing, right? Tomorrow afternoon, same thing. You've got some dead spots, but again, we're going to have the onshore breeze. So what is going to happen, as you'll probably see when we get to our rain and stuff, more chance of showers and stuff like that along the coastline in the morning, and with the wind pounding and pushing, it'll turn to inland and more towards the Gulf Coast as the day progresses. All right. So Wednesday afternoon, you know, same story. You're going to see this same pattern every day, double digits, and it's going to be, you know, it could be gusty out there at times, right? So Thursday morning, again, here's the strong cell coming in. Also, we've got out in the, let me just zoom out and show you. I'll get it out of the way. Out here, there is tropical activity right now. They're saying it might develop within the next 7 days. It's like a 20% chance that there will be a tropical wave off the east end of the Caribbean islands. You know, all that's out here, east of Puerto Rico, and all this good enough. It'll be out here heading our way by next week sometime. So, you know, we may have some tropical developments to watch out for. All right. So again, tomorrow morning, you know, we've got a cell pushing in inshore, right? If I look at it inshore, it says 8 knots from the east, right? So it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be kicking, you know, between the low singles to anywhere up into the teens all day, all week, right? Thursday afternoon doesn't let up any. On the East Coast, all the way up in Tampa Bay and everything, the West Coast, you're still protected. Everglades National Park, you're getting pounded. So that water is probably going to be fairly cloudy out there if you're trying to do that skinny water stuff. Big Bend up here, you know, Cedar Key and everywhere is, they're fairly calm right there. But on the East Coast, the lower East Coast, Tri-County area and north, we're taking a beating from the wind. Friday morning, same thing. Like I said, the wind is definitely ripping. And this, like I said, this is going to be the story. Now, periodically, you might see these little areas of lower level winds, right? As compared to, like, let's say here, where we've got 12 knots, and down here, you've got 7 knots. That's not going to be long lived. Remember, wind is always moving. So this area of wind, like out here where it's a little bit stronger, will move this way as, you know, the atmosphere drives that portion of wind. Friday afternoon looks like it calms down a little bit. So, hey, that's something to think about. This is 5 p.m. So let's see what happens in the middle of the day. 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m. it starts laying down. 5 p.m., 7 p.m. So it kind of lays down a little bit for about an hour or so, then starts to pick back up. Saturday morning, again, we're into the low double digits, you know, 10 to 15 knots. So it's going to be booking. You know, in the Saturday afternoon, it looks like we get a little bit of a lull. Again, the same thing. storms are going to build up, and we're going to be getting, you know, some of this wet stuff coming on. Sunday morning, again, more southerly wind. Let's look at about 7 a.m. Southerly wind Sunday morning. So a little bit of a change right there. Not too bad. Sunday afternoon lays down, but again, still right around 10 knots. Okay. Monday picks back up. West Coast, again, is still fairly subdued. Definitely compared to the east, which we are hanging out in the Atlantic and taking a beating. Monday, again, southerly winds, low double digits. Monday afternoon, it turns more easterly again. The West Coast, Everglades National Park in the 10,000 Islands area is, you know, looking a little bit more laid down, but we'll see what happens when it comes to the rain, right? Tuesday, here we go. There's our wind picking up. Though that's hot. That's, you know, definitely 15 plus, and that's Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon lays down a little bit. So it's going to be breezy out there, folks, and that's going to create those things called waves. So let's take a look at our waves. All right, so right now, so you got to look at this color-coded chart down here if you are using Windy as a guide, right? So again, all these websites that I go over, if you're new to viewing this, all the websites, the links are to these websites for you to use as a tool to make a general decision whether you want to head off shore or not. They're all in the description of this video. The link, you just copy it, paste it, it'll bring you right to it. All right. So if we go down here, we're looking, you know, up north Vero, they're looking at, you know, 3 to 5. Palm Beach County and south, it's definitely, you know, 2 to 3, if not 4 footers out there. And I'm telling you, the period right now is the important thing. You've got these east waves, right? The direction is heading east, and it could be 2 to 3, but when you've got a period that's 4 seconds, 5 seconds, it's going to be bumpy out there, folks. I don't, you know, I mean, now the bigger the boat you got, of course, you know, the less sporty it will seem. But if you know, if you've got a 17, 20-foot boat out there, you're going to be rocking and rolling. So take your Dramamine and hope for the best. So again, Everglades National Park is no matter what, it's very rarely ever really rough in there. But as you can see, even with the wind blowing from the east out offshore, out past state waters on the West Coast, they're getting hammered a little bit. So let's continue on. That's tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, it picks up. We're looking at, you know, definitely, you know, 3 foot, solid 3 foot, maybe, you know, a little bit in some areas, a little bit heftier, a little bit lighter in some areas. Biscayne Bay is even looking a little choppy, right, folks? All right, Thursday morning, again, 2 to 3, solid 2 to 3, solid 2 to 4, definitely is what I'm saying. Out off the upper keys, they're looking at 3 to 5 down, all the way down. So it's again sporty. Like I said, we've got wind, we've got high pressure driving wind towards the east coast. Tomorrow afternoon, more of the same, 2 to 3, solid 2 to 3. Inshore all the way along the West Coast, you're okay, you're protected. So, you know, if you're doing some of that skinny water stuff, if you're in like 6 inches of water all around the coast up there, that is what it is. Down off the keys, they're looking at, you know, 3 plus, Vero, and north, Port St. Lucie. It's solid. It's solid out there. It's bumpy, folks. Friday morning. Again, this is the pattern of what this week is looking like. So if you are a sporty fisherman and you like some bump while you're out there, you know, trolling or drifting or doing whatever it is, go on ahead. Friday afternoon, again, not much of a let up. Biscayne Bay looks a little lighter, but still it's choppy. Okay, same stuff, folks. We're looking at solid 2 to 3, if not 2 to 4 all week. Saturday, let's go a little bit later. Saturday, same thing. Again, 2 to 3, 3 plus. Saturday afternoon looks like they lay down a little bit more on the West Coast, and, you know, but again, it's been blowing. The waves are there. It's going to be murky water if you're in there doing, you know, fishing for redfish and snook and stuff. So it'll be a tricky call to make sure to see what it goes down there. Saturday afternoon looks like the Keys are getting a little bit of a break, right? So Saturday morning, the Keys all the way down, 3+, and as the afternoon wanes in, it looks like they start to lay down a little bit. It lays down a little bit for the Tri-County area too. Vero Beach, you're still getting hammered by those 3+, 3 to 5, and that's way offshore. Sunday morning, 2 to 3 definitely. Still a little bit lighter than it was Saturday, but not much better. Waves coming from the southeast. Sunday afternoon, again, starting to lay down again all over the place. Tampa Bay is looking nice all week. So, them Skyway fishermen, they are going to be having the time of their lives with nice conditions. Lower Keys, Sunday afternoon, way offshore, you're looking nice. Monday, we're starting to pick up again. Back to, solid 2 to 3s, if not 2 to 4. And it's looking like it's creeping south. This area of blue, which is definitely 3 to 5. Monday afternoon lays down a little bit, but again, we're still looking at 2 to 3 foot seas, choppy, and a quick period again because of the waves. Tuesday, here it comes. Tuesday, you're looking at more bumpy conditions. Definitely solid 2 to 4, all the way down south, everywhere. It's even encroaching upon the west coast too. So this week is going to be a bruiser out there. So if you don't like bump, don't go out. If you like sporty conditions and you're one of them sailfish guys that, going fishing 8 foot seas, hey, this is made for it. This is Tuesday afternoon, folks. So it's looking fairly bumpy out there. Let's look at our rain. All right. So tomorrow morning, again, like we said, I'll zoom out just a hair. Because of the wind, we're looking at showers along the coast in the morning and then driving inland, if not over on the Gulf Coast in the afternoon. So Wednesday afternoon, like I said, inland and there. It actually looks like there will still be some offshore too tomorrow in the moisture category. Thursday morning, again, on the shores. Thursday afternoon, inland towards the Gulf Coast. Friday, again, rain on the shore. Like I said, this is your typical pattern, so don't be shocked if you're seeing something different. Friday afternoon, again, inland and Gulf Coast. A little bit of moisture out there offshore, but again, this is some tropical activity. The tropics have been fairly quiet for a while now. Here's Saturday morning offshore. Saturday afternoon, still offshore, but inland, right? This is way offshore. This is out in the Bahamas. So Sunday, offshore. Sunday afternoon, looks like, so I was thinking, I actually was looking at this, and it looks like Sunday is going to be a fairly rainy day all day, with storms that are just lingering and hanging out. So just bear that in mind if you are heading out Sunday. The chance of seeing some moisture in the sky and having it open up and dump a little bit of rain, if not produce some thunderstorm activity, is possible. Monday, on the shore, we've got a couple of cells that are looking a little bit more powerful. Probably going to dump some rain on you. Port St. Lucie, down in Miami. Monday afternoon, again, we're typical pattern, right? It's going to rain in the afternoon, but I would expect it more so inland in the afternoon than on the East Coast. Tuesday morning, again, moisture in the sky, but this is more likely just cloudy, not really rainy. Tuesday afternoon, again, here you go. There's what we're looking for, that Gulf Coast stuff. All right, so that's our waves. So let's go on ahead and take a look at WindFinder and see what they're saying about it in the written version of it. Okay. Here's WindFinder, right? Again, the link to this is in the description. Okay. So right now, again, into tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, you can see the black lines right here is our wind direction. All easterly, easterly, easterly. Today, like I said, we're in low double digits. kicking up a little bit. Tomorrow, mid double digits, 14 to 13 miles an hour. Not very gusty. Gusts staying around, minimal, staying around the same thing. Tomorrow, chances of rain in the afternoon, so it's going to be more like a summer shower where you see sun and you don't know where in the world the rain's coming from. The wave directions are from the east. Again, 2 to 3 foot seas. Maybe, you're going to get some bigger ones in there periodically. And again, after today, we see the period, which is very important, right, folks? And the period, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 4. But when you've got a period of 4 seconds, those 3 foot waves being 4 seconds apart is sporty out there. It's bumpy. So, little boats are definitely going to be rocking and rolling. You just got to be careful. You go over one wave and you go under the next one, and trouble happens just like that. So beware. Okay, again, Thursday, Friday, easterly winds, low to mid double digits both days. Not much moisture except in the afternoon. Wave direction from the east, again, 2 to 3 foot seas. They're saying 2.6 both days. That's but when you got a 4 second period, a 2.5 foot wave is a fair amount of chop out there. Okay, Saturday, again, easterly winds turning southeasterly in the afternoon. Morning on Sunday, easterly turning southeast in the afternoon. Again, we've got a little dip that happens to well below, to the mid single digits, right? But then in the afternoon, it picks up, it ramps up really good to the high double digits. And again, as night falls, it kind of calms down. And in the morning, it starts picking up again. Not gusty at all any day throughout the week. Moisture in the afternoon time. Sunday, like I said, it looks like, the chance of rain. But when you see a single raindrop here, that means it's a chance, 30-ish percentage. Not super ultra high chance of rain going to happen. Again, wave directions from the east, pretty much 2.5 foot, 3 foot. Period kind of lessens Saturday and Sunday to 5 and 6 seconds. But again, that's still when you got waves coming from you at the east, your wind is from the east. It's going to be bumpy out there, folks. Monday, Tuesday, again, a little bit of a southeasterly breeze going on. Double digits both days. Definitely, mid double digits. When you've got 15-mile-an-hour winds, okay, folks, I don't see how they can say 15-mile-an-hour winds are, consistently, and the seas are going to be 2 foot to 3 foot. No, I think it's going to be a bit more bumpy out there. So just be careful. And again, consider the period. And also, you definitely want to check out your inlet cam and see what the conditions look like off of there at your inlet to see how bad it is. You're going to go surfing in the pier, by the pier, right? I agree with you. Although surfing in weather like this is horrible. The best weather to surf in is actually a west wind that creates a swell. This stuff, these waves are too close together. You can't surf that. Ask Kelly Slater. Anyway, so yeah, Monday, Tuesday, again, the waves are picking up. The wind is picking up and staying steady, and the period kind of decreases between your waves, but still, gonna be bumpy out there, right? Just like you saw out there today, Pedro. Okay, so that's WindFinder. Let's see what NOAA is saying. They're probably going to agree with everything we have seen so far. NOAA right now, Wednesday, right? Seas east 10 knots, seas 2 foot, 4 second period. Again, that's what counts, not the height of the wave, the period between it. So when you've got, you can have a 2 foot wave, 2.5 foot wave. Surf fishing and pier fishing. My bad. Okay. I couldn't surf to say. Yeah, I grew up doing all that stuff. I was a pretty horrible surfer. Yeah, man. Hey, hope you get them. Hope you kill them. That was an awesome walkthrough, by the way. Wednesday, right? So pay attention to that period. Thursday, east 10 to 15, seas 2 foot. So I find that hard to believe. But again, when 4-second period is more right. So, it could be possible that you've got 2-foot seas, but they're jam-packed together with that 4-second period, which makes it, fairly miserable out there, especially for smaller boat guys. Bigger boat guys, those guys with, 40, 50 foot center consoles or sport fishermen, that's not going to bother you too much. All right, same thing Thursday through Sunday, 10 to 15, 2-foot with a 4-second period. So that's what Noah's saying. Noah's kind of pretty much agreeing with everything else everyone else is saying. Okay, check out our moon. So we just passed the full moon. Now we are heading towards the new moon, right? Talk a little bit about our moon and how this works. As we are heading towards the dark side of the moon, the new moon, that is called waning. When you are heading towards the full moon, that is called waxing. So right now we are waning. We're at 30% waning today. Commercials. Tomorrow we're at 28%. Thursday, 19%. Friday, 12%. Saturday, 6%. Sunday, 2%. And looks like Labor Day, the day everybody gets off of work, and it will, be less than favorable conditions, of course, for those 3-day weekenders. This time, we will be at the new moon Monday heading into Tuesday. See where we see the new moon right here. So again, I forgot to mention that. Labor Day coming up. Everybody heading down to the Keys. Be careful. Have fun. Too bad, it'll be a nice day out. It'll be nice weather, but not so much, for fishing. So our moon, right? So if you are into bait fishing, you probably got some sporty conditions, but this is going to be the time to head offshore and get those goggle eyes. Best goggle eye fishing, thread fin fishing, pretty much bait fishing is done at night in under the cover of darkness. Just remember that. If you're ever going out and you want to catch your own goggle eyes instead of paying $85 or $100 for a dozen, you do it when the moon is dark. All right. So that's our moon phase. Let's check out our tides and, running on schedule finally for the first time. We're not too far behind. Talking to myself. All right, look at our tides, right? So again, real quick thing about the tides. Tides roll in. Are you digging on my couch? Tides roll in 12-hour cycles, right? 6 hours of falling, 6 hours of rising. If you are fishing the tides by areas where they go out, like jetties, okay, you have to fish the outgoing tide, especially if you're fishing from a jetty on land, like land-based fishermen. If you are fishing the incoming tide, the tide's raising, you are going to catch nothing. You have to fish the outgoing tide. And the same thing goes with you folks that troll in front of them for fish like wahoo. The same thing for people who drift in front of the inlets for mutton snapper, and the same thing for the folks who anchor up and go for fish like yellowtail and mangroves. The outgoing tide. Again, let me explain what happens. Is the tide's rushing out. It pushes out all the sediment, all the goodies, the microorganisms, the phytoplankton and everything, pushes it out into the ocean, and then the small fish come in and they nibble on that, and then the big predators come in and they nibble on the small fish. That's how it works. So you can see how when the tide is coming in, it's dragging all that back into the canals and the estuaries, which is why you catch nada when the tide is rising. Okay, so right now our tide is falling, and again, this pattern right here, this is daybreak. It moves further back this way as the week progresses. So as we'll see, tomorrow, Wednesday, we're about halfway through the outgoing tide, which is great for people who like to get out there at daybreak and start fishing. You've got a strong pulling tide. Get out there and fish that inlet, right? Thursday, you're about a third of the way through your outgoing tide. So you've got some great water flow. You get out there and do it. Again, sporty conditions, but as we saw, there were a few wahoo to be caught out there, right? The moon phase won't agree with you, but the other conditions, such as your water flow and your pretty much, sporty seas, do agree with you when it comes to getting on those pelagics. Friday, we're about a quarter of the way through. Great start to the morning if you're willing to get out there and do it and deal with the weather conditions. Saturday, you're at the slack tide as the sun comes up. And the same would be for Sunday. You'll probably be right just at the tippy end of the tide and heading into Monday and Tuesday, Labor Day. You'll be at the end of the incoming tide, so you'll have to give it a chance for the fishing feeding to start firing back up. And that's our tides, right? Tides are very important if you fish by them, especially right out in front of your inlets. The water flow flowing out is very important. All right, folks, that is about it. So before we head out, I would like to invite you, as always, if you are on Facebook, come and join the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Okay, here we go. It looks like this. We make posts every Monday asking for you to show off your catches. If you drop a picture in here, you will be featured on the Tuesday weekly show that starts at 6 and runs for, just under an hour, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. We go over all the fishing. We go over the weather too. And if you submit a post, and you always have a chance of being the thumbnail on the YouTube video. So again, if you are on Facebook, ask to join the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Answer a couple of questions. What's your favorite fish to catch? And do you agree with the rules? The rules are simple. No advertising, no, like we got this guy here who keeps asking about, getting the boat detailed. Hey, not really what I'm looking for. Like to keep it to just fishing stuff, right? Letting people know, like Pedro is great at doing it, keeping up with everybody, always showing off his fish, showing the conditions that there's stuff out there. Jose Rodriguez, he actually, he showed dolphin chasing pods of tuna. Great stuff going on. So loads of information, people dropping in some stuff to share it. And as you can see, like I said, here's the thumbnail. So, this week, Jason Reese and his tuna and kingfish are the thumbnail. Always got that chance of it happening for you. All right. And then before we leave, the one last thing, folks, I would like to invite you. If you don't have it, we've got South Florida Saltwater Fishing merch available from our sponsor, WindRider. Go on the line. The link is in the description. They've got fishing shirts, UPF fishing shirts. They got built-in gators, hoods. You got the South Florida Saltwater Fishing logo out there. I saw a couple of folks have already. I know Pedro's got his. He's showing it off, and there's quite a other. Richard, he shows his off, and hey, support the brand, right, folks? They got them with the hoods, without the hoods, everything. Yes, Jason is a great fisherman. I agree with you. So that's where we're at, right? Support the brand. WindRider sponsor, South Florida Saltwater Fishing merch. All right, folks, that about does it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you had fun. And that about does it for this week. It's going to be sporty out there. Hopefully everyone has a chance to get out and catch something this weekend and be safe. Labor Day weekend, please. Lots of, kooky people out there renting boats, so, be wary of them. And for those of you, I can tell you this for a fact, down in the Keys, FWC and law enforcement are going to be heavy out there. So, beware. If you're fishing, they're going to find you. So, just stay legal and do everything safe. All right, folks, that about does it for this episode. Till next Tuesday, South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Going wherever the cool wind takes us.